So what makes a company truly valuable? Is it the profits they're making right now, or is it all about tomorrow's growth? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. It turns out the real secret to building incredible long-term value is creating something that can last for decades. Let's dig into the blueprint. We're going to kick things off with a real-world puzzle from back in 2013 that seems to defy all common sense. Okay, so check this out. In 2013, you had the New York Times, a profitable, iconic institution, and then you had Twitter, a company that was, get this, losing money, yet the market valued Twitter at 12. That's 12 times more than the Times. I mean, how is that even possible? This question gets right to the heart of what investors are really looking for, and it's the big question we're going to unpack right now. See, the answer isn't about what a company earned yesterday, or even what it's earning today. It's all about what it's expected to earn for years, maybe even decades, down the road. So here's the big idea. A business's true value is basically all the money it's expected to make over its entire lifetime. Investors looked at Twitter and they saw a potential monopoly that could churn out huge profits for decades. But when they looked at the Times, they saw a company whose glory days of dominating the news were probably in the rearview mirror. And this really shows the two totally different paths a business can take. A traditional business, like a restaurant, might be profitable today, but those profits are always at risk from new competition. A high-growth tech startup, though, is playing the long game. It'll often lose money for years just to build a dominant position because it knows the real payday is a decade or more away. And just look at PayPal. Only 27 months after it was founded, a projection showed that a staggering 75% of its entire value was tied to profits it hoped to make more than 10 years later. And the crazy part? Even that turned out to be an underestimate. And this right here is the trap so many companies fall into. I mean, remember Zynga or Groupon? They had absolutely insane short-term growth, but they totally overlooked the much deeper question of durability. You can get so obsessed with weekly user stats that you miss the fact that your whole business is built on a house of cards. All right, so what are the core characteristics of a durable monopoly? What are the key ingredients that let a company not just grow, but actually last? Now, every monopoly is a little different, of course, but they almost always have a powerful mix of these four key traits. It's not some simple checklist, but understanding these really helps you see what makes a business defensible in the long run. Okay, first up, proprietary technology. And here's the deal. For this to be a real game changer, it can't just be a little bit better. The rule of thumb is that your solution needs to be at least 10 times better than whatever the next best thing is. Anything less just gets lost in the noise. And you can see these 10x leaps in action everywhere. PayPal made payments instant instead of you waiting a week for a check to clear. Early on, Amazon offered 10 times more books than any physical bookstore could ever dream of. And Apple's iPad? It didn't just improve the tablet, it basically made tablets useful for the very first time. Number 2 is network effects. This one's a classic. The idea is simple, right? The more people who use a product, the more valuable it becomes for every single person. I mean, if all your friends are on one social network, it just doesn't make sense for you to be anywhere else. But here's the crazy part. It's a total paradox. To build a massive network, you have to start incredibly small. You can't just target the whole world from day one. Look at Facebook. It started with just Harvard students, a tiny, super concentrated market that it could completely own before expanding out. Third, we've got economies of scale. Basically, a true monopoly just gets stronger and more profitable the bigger it gets. Software is the perfect example here. The cost to make one more copy for a new user is practically zero. Now compare that to a yoga studio. To serve more people, you need more space, you need more instructors. The business gets bigger, sure, but the margins don't really improve. And finally, branding. A strong brand like Apple's is obviously incredibly powerful, but and this is so important, the brand is not the foundation. It's the reinforcement. Apple's brand only works because it's built on a solid substance of 10x technology, massive scale, and powerful network effects. Trying to start with the brand before the substance, that's just a recipe for failure. Okay, so we've got the traits down. We know what a monopoly looks like. But how in the world do you actually build one of these things from scratch? Well, the playbook is actually pretty straightforward, but it takes a ton of discipline. Step 1. You start with a market so small that you can totally dominate it. Own it completely. And only then do you start to methodically expand into related markets. And this is exactly why that classic startup pitch is so wrong. You know the one, we'll just get 1% of this massive $100 billion market. It sounds impressive, but what it really means is you're diving headfirst into a brutal competition from day one. It's so much better to be the big fish in a small pond. And I mean, look no further than Amazon. It is the absolute masterclass in this strategy. Jeff Bezos started with a super clear niche: books. He dominated it. Then he logically expanded into the most similar markets: CDs, videos, software, and just gradually kept expanding until Amazon became the everything store. All right, let's get to my final piece of the blueprint. And honestly, this one might be the most counterintuitive of them all. It's a direct challenge to one of Silicon Valley's favorite words. We all love that word disruptor. But think about what it actually means. It means you're defining yourself by your opposition to an existing company. You're picking a fight. Napster picked a fight with the entire music industry and, well, they got crushed. PayPal, on the other hand, deliberately avoided a direct fight with Visa. It actually created a bigger pie for payments, which gave Visa more business, not less. It was a positive-sum game. So, at the end of the day, a durable monopoly isn't built by destroying what's old. It's the result of creating something entirely new. Creation is just way more powerful and valuable than competition. And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Shifting your focus away from fighting incumbents and towards creating new value. That's the key. Because the ultimate prize isn't just winning a battle. It's building something new that actually lasts.